Okay, so picture this AI that can tackle like hundreds of problems all at the same time. Not just, beat you at chess. We're talking designing life-saving vaccines, composing a symphony, maybe even figuring out how to make a self-folding laundry basket all at once.
Seriously.
It's pretty wild, right? That's the potential of what Jay Poole over at Tech Frontiers calls generalized geniuses.
Yeah, it really challenges how we think about AI right now, what it can actually do. It's like moving from a calculator that can only, do basic math to one that can solve crazy equations, write poetry, make a killer cup of coffee, all while it's explaining the history of the universe.
It's a lot to take in, and that's exactly what we're going to deep dive into today with you. What are these generalized geniuses? How are they different from the AI we're seeing out there now?
Yeah.
And maybe even more importantly, what does all of this mean for us? We'll explore how these systems could impact our work, our homes, even society as a whole.
Right.
Then we'll get into the really big question. Are we talking about some kind of new partnership with AI, or is this just, a more powerful tool? And of course, we can't ignore the potential downsides, can we? We'll unpack some of the ethical concerns that come with such powerful technology.
Definitely a lot to cover, but it's going to be an engaging discussion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially for, our AI fans out there.
Yeah.
So let's start with Poole's definition of a generalized genius. He contrasts these systems with today's AI, which is typically designed to do one specific task.
Yeah. The exciting thing is that generalized geniuses are designed to be multi-talented, not limited to one area. Instead, they can apply their knowledge and learning across different disciplines. It's like a digital Da Vinci, if you will.
So instead of having separate AIs for composing music or designing buildings or diagnosing illnesses, you could have one system that can do it all.
Exactly. And that's where the term genius comes in. These systems aren't just crunching data or following instructions. They're showing signs of genuine ingenuity, connecting seemingly unrelated ideas, seeing patterns that humans might miss, and even coming up with totally new solutions to complex problems.
Poole highlights a few examples in his video that are pretty compelling. He talks about an AI system that was able to analyze millions of medical records and accurately diagnose a rare disease that had stumped human doctors for months.
It's a really powerful illustration of how this technology can amplify what we can do, not replace us. Imagine every doctor having an AI partner that can instantly analyze a patient's entire medical history, compare it to a huge database of research, and suggest potential diagnoses or treatment options. That would totally revolutionize healthcare.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop there, right? Poole also points to advancements in engineering where AI is now designing buildings that are not only aesthetically pleasing, but also incredibly energy efficient. They can run simulations and test thousands of designs in a fraction of the time it would take a human team.
And then there's the creative side of things. We're already seeing AI co-author novels, compose music that sounds just like it was made by a human, and even create amazing works of art. And that's just the beginning. As these systems become more generalized, who knows what incredible creative things we'll see.
Poole really paints a picture of how this could change our everyday lives. He talks about how generalized geniuses could revolutionize the workplace. Imagine having an AI partner that can help you streamline your workflow, analyze market trends, even brainstorm new business strategies.
And it's not just about making our jobs more efficient. These systems could also create completely new industries and job opportunities that we haven't even thought of yet. Think about the possibilities for personalized education, where every student has an AI tutor that adapts to their own learning style and pace.
And let's not forget about the impact on our personal lives. Poole mentions AI helping us with everything from planning a vacation to coming up with ideas for a birthday party. It's like having a personal assistant who's not only super organized, but also really creative.
It's all about making our lives better, not taking over our roles. Imagine being able to just ask your AI partner for a totally unique recipe that fits your dietary needs and what you like to eat, or getting personalized fitness routines that change based on your fitness level and goals.
But Poole doesn't just focus on the individual level, right? He also envisions these generalized geniuses tackling some of the world's toughest problems, like climate change, poverty, disease.
Yeah, this is where the real potential shines. Imagine using AI to model complex systems like our global climate and figure out how to reduce the effects of climate change, or to analyze huge amounts of socioeconomic data and develop strategies to fight poverty. It's really exciting.
Okay, so we've talked about what generalized geniuses are and how they're different from the AI we're all used to. We've also touched on how they might impact our work, our homes, even society as a whole. But now I think it's time to get into the really interesting stuff. This idea of AI as a partner, not just a tool.
That's where it gets really fascinating. We've always thought about AI as something we control, something we give commands to. But what if these systems become so advanced that they're more like collaborators?
So instead of just saying, hey, AI, write me a report. It's more like, hey, AI, let's work on this project together. What do you think?
Exactly. It's a much more back and forth relationship one where the AI can contribute its own insights and perspectives. Poole uses an example where an artist is working with an AI genius to create a new piece of art. The AI doesn't just follow the artist's instructions. It offers suggestions, challenges their ideas, and even pushes the artist's creative boundaries in ways they never imagined.
Like brainstorming with someone who has access to like an infinite library of knowledge and a completely different way of seeing the world.
That's a great way to put it. And this kind of partnership could work in any field, from science and engineering to business and education. Scientists working with AI to design new experiments, entrepreneurs collaborating with AI to come up with innovative products. It's a whole new way humans and machines can interact.
It's incredibly exciting to think about all the possibilities. But before we go too far, I think it's important to talk about the potential downsides. Because just like with any powerful technology, there are always risks and ethical things we need to consider.
Absolutely. We need to be careful and make sure we're developing and using this technology in a responsible way.
So let's talk about those concerns. What are some of the key ethical considerations that Poole brings up in his video?
He focuses on three main areas: control dependency and trust.
Let's start with control. Who gets to use these powerful systems? Will generalized geniuses be available to everyone, or will they be in the hands of a few powerful companies or governments?
That's a really important question. If this technology really can change our world, then access to it could create a lot of power and inequality. We need to think carefully about how to make sure everyone has access so the benefits of this technology can help all of humanity, not just a select few.
And then there's the issue of dependency. If we become too reliant on AI to solve our problems and make decisions for us, what happens to our own ability to think?
It's a valid concern. Do we risk becoming complacent and losing our ability to think critically and creatively if we have machines that can do it all for us? It's a question we need to really think about.
It's kind of like a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
We're creating these amazing tools to make us better, but in doing so, we might be weakening our own agency.
Yeah, it's a tricky balance, and we need to be careful.
Yeah.
We need to find ways to use AI to add to human intelligence, not replace it.
And finally, there's the question of trust. Can we really trust these systems to make decisions that align with our values and our best interests?
Trust is essential, especially when we're talking about systems that can have such a big impact on our lives. We need to be able to trust that these systems are reliable, unbiased, and transparent in how they make decisions.
So it seems like we're at a crossroads. We have this amazing technology that could solve some of the world's biggest problems and unlock incredible levels of creativity and innovation, but we also have to be aware of the potential downsides and make sure we're using it responsibly.
It's a challenge for sure, but it's also an amazing opportunity. The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's something that we're shaping right now with every decision we make.
I love that. It's a reminder that we're not just watching this technological revolution happen.
Yeah.
We can influence where it goes and make sure it leads to a better future for everyone.
Absolutely. And that's an important message, especially for all the AI enthusiasts out there who are so passionate about this technology and its potential.
We've covered a lot of ground here. We explored what generalized geniuses are, how they're different from AI now, and some of the potential impacts, both good and bad.
And we've only scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore and discuss about this amazing field.
Listeners, we hope you're as intrigued by all of this as we are. In the next part, we'll go even deeper into the real-world implications of generalized geniuses. We'll explore how they could change specific industries, transform education, and even reshape our understanding of what it means to be human.
So stay tuned for part 2. Things are about to get really interesting. Picking up where we left off, it's time to really get into how generalized geniuses could actually work in our lives. It's one thing to talk about potential, but how would this play out in different areas?
Yeah, one thing that really stuck with me from Poole's video was that these systems aren't just about finding answers. They help us ask better questions, which sounds kind of simple, but it's really powerful.
It's about getting past our own limited thinking. Imagine you're stuck on a problem. Instead of getting bogged down in your own assumptions, you could bounce ideas off your AI partner. Get totally fresh perspectives and insights that could lead to breakthroughs you wouldn't have thought of on your own.
Like having a brainstorming session with the smartest person in the world. Someone who can process information to make connections so much faster than any human.
And that's just the start. Think about scientific research. Imagine a team of scientists working with an AI genius to analyze tons of data, find hidden patterns, come up with new hypotheses. It could totally speed up discoveries in fields like medicine materials, science, even astrophysics.
What about the business world? Could these systems help companies make innovative products, optimize how they work, and predict market trends even better?
Absolutely. Imagine a company is developing something new. Instead of just relying on market research and focus groups, they could use an AI genius to analyze customer behavior, predict future trends, even come up with design ideas based on those insights.
It's like having a crystal ball that shows you the future of what customers want, helping companies stay ahead of the game and create things people actually want.
That's a great way to put it. And it's not just about predicting the future, it's about understanding what's happening right now in a deeper way. Like an AI genius could analyze customer feedback from everywhere, social media, online reviews, customer support, and find recurring problems and suggest solutions that we might miss.
So it's not just about crunching numbers. It's about understanding how people behave and using that to create better experiences for them.
Exactly. And that brings us back to AI as a partner, not a tool. It's about working together, using the best of what humans and machines can do to create something bigger than either could alone.
We talked before about how education could be personalized, but let's dig a little deeper. How could generalized geniuses really change the way we learn?
It's about moving past the one-size-fits-all approach to education. Imagine every student having an AI tutor that can figure out how they learn best, what their strengths and weaknesses are, and then make a personalized learning plan just for them.
It's like having a tutor who knows exactly how your brain works and changes their teaching to match.
Exactly. And that's just the beginning. These systems could also give feedback and support while students are learning, keeping them engaged and motivated. They could even spot students who are struggling and tell the teacher so they can get extra help.
It's about giving both students and teachers better tools to make learning more effective and personalized.
And it's not just about grades. These systems could also help students develop critical thinking skills, creativity, problem-solving abilities, the skills you need to succeed in a world that's constantly changing.
But there are some downsides to this, right? Especially when it comes to relying too much on AI. If we depend on AI to guide our learning, do we risk losing our ability to think for ourselves and solve problems on our own?
That's a good point, and it's something we need to be careful about. We have to remember that these systems should help us think, not think for us. The goal isn't to create students who need AI to do everything, but to help them become better learners and thinkers.
So it's about finding that sweet spot, making sure AI makes us better, not weaker.
Exactly. It's about a partnership where both humans and AI can learn and grow together.
You know, when we talk about AI changing things, people often think about self-driving cars or robots that do our chores. But this is something much bigger. It's about AI changing how we think, how we learn, how we interact with the world.
I totally agree. This is about more than just making things easier or more convenient. It's about fundamentally changing how we solve problems, how we're creative, even how we understand what intelligence is.
And that brings us to maybe the most mind-blowing part of all of this. If AI becomes this capable, do we have to rethink what words like intelligence and creativity even mean?
That's where things get really interesting. And Poole's ideas give us a lot to think about. We'll dig into that in our last part.
Listeners, get ready. We're about to explore the really deep philosophical stuff about generalized geniuses. Okay, so we're back, and we're finally tackling that big question that's been hanging over this whole conversation about generalized geniuses. If AI can write symphonies, design incredible technology, and diagnose diseases, what does that even mean for our own definitions of intelligence and creativity?
It gets pretty philosophical here, and I think Poole does a great job in his video of making us think beyond just, the practical stuff and really grapple with what it means to be human. We've always thought of ourselves as the most intelligent species, the ultimate creators. But what happens when machines start doing things just as well as we do or even better?
It's almost like an existential crisis, right? Like if a machine can paint a masterpiece or solve a scientific problem that's been stumping humans for years, does that somehow make human achievements less impressive? Or does it just change what's possible for both humans and machines?
That's the core of it, isn't it? Do we see this as like a competition where someone has to win and someone has to lose? Or do we see it as a chance to broaden our understanding of what intelligence and creativity even are? Poole seems to think it's the second one. He suggested this new AI era could be like a new renaissance, not just for technology, but for human potential, too.
I love that comparison to the Renaissance. It was a time of incredible growth in art and ideas. People were pushing the limits of what was possible in every field. Could we be on the edge of something similar? An explosion of creativity and innovation driven by humans and AI working together.
I think it could happen. Imagine AI helping us reach new levels of creativity and problem solving that we never thought possible. Working with machines to compose music that's both beautiful and moving, to design buildings that are both functional and amazing, to make scientific discoveries that cure diseases and solve some of the world's biggest problems.
It's a pretty amazing vision, but it also makes you wonder, if AI gets that good, do we need to change what we mean when we say intelligent or creative? Do those words become less about what humans can do on their own and more about what we can do with machines?
That's a really interesting question, and I don't think there's an easy answer. We have to remember that intelligence and creativity aren't just one thing. There are lots of ways to be intelligent and lots of ways to be creative. And what we're seeing with AI is an expansion of those ideas, not a replacement.
So instead of being scared that AI is a threat to our own intelligence and creativity, we should see it as a chance to make those abilities even stronger, to push the limits of what's possible and explore new ways to express ourselves and come up with new ideas.
Exactly. And that's what's so exciting about all of this. It's not just about small improvements. We're talking about a whole new way of thinking, creating, and solving problems. A change that could lead to a future that's both amazing and still very human.
As we finish up our deep dive into the world of generalized geniuses, I'm left feeling both excited and aware of the responsibility we have. Excited about the incredible potential of this technology to change the world, and responsible for making sure we use it wisely and ethically.
I completely agree. We're at a crossroads right now. The choices we make today will affect how AI develops for generations to come. It's up to all of us to talk about this, to ask the tough questions, and to work together to make sure AI empowers us, not controls us.
Listeners, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and given you a lot to think about. Keep exploring this topic, ask your own questions, and be part of the conversation about the future of AI. It's not set in stone. We create the future together.